Well, today we're joined by Missy and Mayce, M&M, I like to call them. They're a great team, people I've known for years, and they have been building an incredible business called Impactful Messages. So they're going to share some of their secrets and branding with everyone today. I'm so grateful to have you here. You guys are full of wisdom and full of experience. So let's just get started right away. Maybe let's start with just share the story of how you two got together. What happened there? How you're together building this business.
You want to start?
You go ahead. Take
Okay.
that one.
So thank you, Kelly, so
I
much
was
for, thank you so much for having us. We're just grateful that we have this opportunity. You're one of our faves. As you said, we've known each other for a long time. So Missy and I worked together, and there was a time that we said, why aren't we working together in this capacity, right? Why aren't we building a business as corporate trainers and keynote speakers? And really, we didn't have a reason of why not to do it. So we're like, okay, if we can't think of a good enough reason why not to do it, let's just say yes and figure it out.
Yeah.
Right? Live on that other side of yes.
So did you have similar goals and similar aspirations? Were your insights the same, kind of the why that you were here? Kind of share how that went.
Yeah, we met through Maxwell leadership team, right? And so through that, we were pouring into leaders every day with our clients.
Right.
And so as we were doing that, we fell in love with it. And we've had opportunities open up, and the more you do it, the more you love it. When you see the transformation in someone, when they're sitting in the room and you're training and you're teaching them, and, they start like not wanting to be there. And by the end, they'll come up and say, I didn't want to be here, but you opened my eyes. I feel like I've got a new vision for what I want to do. And so once you get that, it's just the catalyst to want to do it more. And so I think that propels.
Yeah. And I would say like our values, of course, are the same, right? That's why you're attracted to people, is because you have similar characteristics or similar values. Our upbringing is nothing the same. That, I think, makes us what we are, is that we are so different, but then we're so much alike. People that meet us think we've known each other our entire lives. We've only known each other 9 years, but we've built such a sisterhood and a friendship that it just flows so naturally for us in business.
And the other thing that I would say is that we had worked together first. And Kelly, you build trust with someone.
Right.
So we knew the strengths that each of us had, and we were able to use those in a way where they complemented each other. There was trust, there was respect, because you can't go into business with a friend unless you really understand that. And so I think the values probably is the baseline of where we started moving forward, because we could trust each other.
Right. Yeah.
So let's talk about partnership. I heard you mention, we came together, we had some similar things, even though we were quite different, but we partnered together. So maybe share some of the benefits of that. And maybe, are there some obstacles? Are there some challenges in partnering with someone who might be different?
Right. I mean, I think just like in marriages, right, you're not the same person. So although your values are the same, the way that you communicate is different. Sometimes your expectations are different. So I would never say that we never really had a terrible bumpy patch.
No.
Ever in all of our years of friendship and business. But sometimes you just need to understand. And one of the best pieces of advice I would say for anyone is lay out your expectations, so that you're not resenting the person for not doing what you think that they should know. So we are very clear with each other of what our expectations are. Like, I expect this from you, or Missy will say, this is my expectation. And if we can't live up to that expectation, we always let the other know, like, hey, I told you I was going to be able to do this. There's just no way. So I'm letting you know that, so then we're not disappointed when it doesn't happen.
Yeah, I think we work really hard not to disappoint each other and to live up to that. But there is something about partnership.
Power in it.
There is power in partnership. I taught school for 15 years, and I had a teacher that we were partners, and everything we did together. And there was that chemistry, right? That something that you don't find with every person. And when you find it and you partner together, amazing things can happen.
And I would also say, like, a lot of people shy away from collaborating. They compete, right? Those are the two extremes. You either collaborate with someone or you compete with them. And for us, collaborating is just so easy because we are very different in our strengths, right? There are things that I absolutely cannot and will not do, and vice versa.
Absolutely.
So I don't have to worry about doing them. Missy doesn't have to worry about doing them. We can say, hey, this is not my strength. This is yours. You handle that. You handle this. Like, we'll take notes. She's like, I'm not going to bother taking notes. Like, why do we both need to waste our time taking the notes? I know you got this, or you got.
She's the details gal, right? As we're booking events and speaking and training, I'm like, you've got my calendar.
Right.
Just book it. I don't want to deal with the details. And so we know that about each other, so it's easy.
And it gives you the diversity that you have is great for you, right? You can complement each other, but just imagine what it's doing for the people on the other side, your clients, the people in front of you.
Kelly, that is great that you say that and that you notice that, because I think that's one of the main things we hear when we're in front of a group is, we loved the
yin and yang,
the back
dynamic,
Yeah.
That comes with two people. Because listen, sometimes we're training 2 days, 8-hour days. Who wants to listen to the same person drone on for 2 days for 8 hours? But because there's two of us, it's almost like you get this bang for your buck, right? There's two of us. So we're in there. We're excited. We're feeding off of each other's energy. And you're right. The audience can absolutely feel it.
Yeah.
And you can connect with this personality style or this, right? And you can connect with a different dynamic. So you're kind of catching it all.
Absolutely.
Client.
Yeah, great
for
point.
you. Tell us about your name, Impactful Messages. How did you come up with that? What's the value of that?
That's not the vision. Like, I have such a vivid memory of this.
Yes.
And so you can fill in. So when we were coming up with our names, people always love the M&M, right? Macy, Missy, and
We've always played it.
we always play into it. And people don't always remember which one's Macy, which one's Missy, right? Like, they're M&M. That's just easier. So when we were coming up with our business name, we knew it had to be 2 M's. We knew there had to be 2 M's. And also, Missy's a huge fan of alliteration. So we wanted to play into that. And I remember it was a Saturday morning when we decided we were going to launch our business. Saturday morning, pen and paper in hand, and I was sitting on my bed, and we were just
Googling M words.
Yeah, just shouting names. And then it just came to us, Impactful Messages. So it is Impactful Messages with no I in impactful, right? It's impactful with an M, messages. Yeah. What would you add?
Well, I think you did a great job. It was literally just pulling it out of the hat. And once it resonated with us, we went with it.
We knew that was
And I think the name really covers a lot of different things. We can stand on a stage and deliver a message. We can get in front of a group and train and give a powerful message. We could work with leaders one-on-one and give them messages to help them up-level whatever it is they're wanting to.
And we hope that we're impactful.
Yeah. I mean, that's the bottom line. Yeah.
And that your name is very much your brand. And that's not always the case, because a name isn't necessarily a brand. A brand is something more inside, right? It's, you are your brand.
Yes.
Well said, Missy, because it's really more about you and who you are and your beliefs and what you love to do and your passion and your purpose and all of that. It's not necessarily a name. And a lot of people will get bogged down on name and logos and all kinds of things when in fact your brand, comes from here. Tell us a little bit about your brand. I do think, though, that name just ties right into your brand, because I know both of you very well. So tell us a little bit more about your brand. Who are you? And
who are we? Well, I think a lot of the words you just used about who you are is who we are. We are passionate. We are dedicated. We are loyal. We have a heart to serve. We want to add value. We want to see people's lives change. And we want to have fun while we're doing it.
That's what I was going to say. We want to be known for those girls are so much fun.
Yeah.
I mean, we do a lot of hands-on. Like, we're bringing bucket loads of crayons and markers and, just bringing people sometimes back to their childhood, because leadership isn't just words. It could be, you have to lead sometimes through pictures with different people depending on the industry. So we really do try to tie in that energy that I think that we exude. We want our participants to feel that energy.
Yeah. It will not be, when we're in front of a group, it will not be 8 hours of lecture. I mean, really and truly, I think about every half hour.
We're doing
We are having them do something hands-on, get up, connect. I would say, the heart of our brand is connection.
Yeah.
Really?
We believe that connection is the core of leadership.
Yeah.
So we really try to focus on that, whether it's a 45-minute presentation that we're giving, a 4-hour, 8-hour, right? We want everyone in that room not to necessarily feel connected to us, although that is important. We want them to connect with each other.
Yeah.
That's the key. If they can leave there feeling connected to their teammates, then we know that we've done our job.
Connection changes everything.
Does. And you guys seem very clear on your brand. Like I asked and you didn't have to think about it, or you knew what that was. And I really can see the passion, because immediately it has to be fun. We've got to have the connection, because a lot of people will get bogged down in, the money and that I want to make $1 billion, or I want to.
Don't we all?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And again, anything, any goal we have in life has a sacrifice, right? So if we're going to be the billionaire, right, then the sacrifice might be, a certain amount of time or family, things like that. If we want to have, this is the amount of money XYZ we want to have, but we want to have more time for our family. How do we build the business that way? So you can have it all.
Of course.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, but having that clarity on your brand and what you really want, right? So we want that income and all of that as well, but what are we willing to sacrifice on either side? Because everything, and when sacrifice doesn't have to be a bad thing.
No, it
You're trading something of this value for something of a greater value.
Right.
So you seem very clear on that, and I like that. Having that, tell me about that. What is that clarity, and how does that make it easier? Or
Well, I would say, for as far as sacrifice is concerned, where I am in my parenting, there are things I'm not willing to give up. Right. Missy's kids are older. My kids are on the younger side. Like, I will not give up a birthday. I will not give up first day of school. Right. I will not give up prom. And we've had to turn down engagements because of those things. But that was something that we decided and we talked about at the beginning, not as it's happening, like, oh, by the way, tomorrow's the first day of school and I'm not going to be. We said at the beginning, here are my non-negotiables. Missy had a list of non-negotiables. And I think that that's important too when you're partnering with someone, is you need to think of all of those things that may come up. Will they come up? Maybe, maybe not. But you don't want to make a commitment to each other and then, by the way, no, I want you to know that I will never miss a birthday. So if there's a speaking engagement, either you're going to do it or we're not going to do it. And, like I said, there's things that you just, as far as sacrifice is concerned, you get to decide what is important to you and what you are and are not willing to sacrifice. I don't know if that answered your question, but.
Well, I'll speak to the clarity piece, because I think we're so clear on what we do because we do it authentically.
Oh, that's, yeah.
Right. And so it's not something we're having to make up or
Right.
pretend to be. We go in, we are who we are. We don't put on pretense. I mean, we work with millionaires and billionaires who have these huge businesses, and we show up as M&M. We're just who we are, right? And so we're clear because
We don't know how to be any other way.
right?
Yeah.
It's not something we have to figure out. We
Right, we're
are just
not
who we
faking
are.
it.
but you're allowing that is what I'm seeing here, because not everybody does that. We think we read this,
Right,
we saw this
right.
video, we did.
I have
we
to
think-
dress this way. I have to walk this way. I have to talk this way. Yeah.
Exactly. And so I really do believe that people, when you're coming from that authentic self, people know it. They see it, right? You spot a phony a mile away. Most people can.
Right.
And the thing is when you're your authentic self, you're going to attract the people that need you anyways. Right? We hope we can't hit everyone, right? I mean, you could try. You can throw the shotgun out there and it'll spackles all over. But when you're right on target with your audience and the people who resonate with you and your voice, then your business grows. People think that they're limiting themselves. No, my audience is everyone. Right. But when you do, the business grows, and people don't always get that because there's so much out there telling us to be this way or that way.
And the other thing about authenticity, I think, is when you are authentic as the leader, as the trainer, as the speaker, the people in the room feel like they could be authentic. They show up the way that they are, instead of saying, well, I have to be perfect or I have to be this way because look at them and they're that way. No, just come as you are. We'll work with you. Like, we're going to work with you no matter who you are. None of us are perfect. We absolutely do not even try for perfection because it will never happen. So we just show up. Yeah, it is. Myth.
You're giving them permission to be themselves.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that.
Absolutely.
Awesome, great. How about a story? Do you have a story of someone, a company, an organization, an individual, someone that you've helped? We like to hear about those success stories.
Sure. I'll take this one. So, I mean, I'm taking one of them. I don't know what you might share, but we have an individual that we've done a lot of training with in that company, and we literally watched him transform in the time that we had him, which was about 10 weeks and 2 full days. But what was amazing is seeing him about 6 months later. The lesson that he took from our training was really about empowering his people and how that would change them because they would feel known and trusted and seen and valued, right? But not only how it changed the relationships and dynamics that he had with the team he was leading. He had lost, 30 pounds? He had lost 30 pounds.
Got off medication.
Got off medication, saved his marriage. And those aren't the things that you generally think of when you're standing in front of the room delivering a training session. But to see the fruit of it and see how people actually take it and it impacts their life.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a story that I'll carry with me forever. When he came up to us at a conference that they invited us back to and said, girls, and we hardly recognized him. And he said, you've changed my life.
Think about the other lives that were affected by that, right? I mean, you've got him, and he's telling you, right? So we know this. I'm getting goosebumps. You changed my life. Think about the other people, his family, his work has been affected. So, I mean, that's got to be rewarding for you and a voice for your business.
Absolutely. I mean, it's always about them, right? It's never about us. We love to hear the stories because that's what our hope is. And when they can come to us and tell us how we've impacted them personally, it does mean so much more than the profession. We're there to do the professional stuff, right? Like that's what you've hired us to do. But it's the personal stuff that we hope they're able to bring what we're teaching and sharing with them, and they're implementing it and they're seeing all these changes because that will have a ripple effect in all of those areas that you just mentioned. I mean, if a marriage is changed, then their children are going to be changed. And their children will be impacted by. So that's kind of, sometimes it gets a little bit overwhelming that you're like, oh my gosh, like the fact that we're doing this and the results that we're getting that we didn't even quote unquote sign up for, it's pretty amazing. And it's
humbling, very humbling.
And you're so much more effective if you've got an employee at work who's happier at home, vice versa, right? It's going to make things better. Let me ask you something fun. Let's say if there was a celebrity that would endorse you, like you could choose any celebrity out there that can endorse you. Who would it be, and maybe what would they say about Eminem?
Take that.
Oh, that's a tricky one. Okay, if there was a celebrity.
All right, I'll tell you just what came to me.
Okay, tell me.
It goes back to my high school days.
Perfect.
And he just did it, not too long ago at the Olympics. Like Tom Cruise jumping down with the parachute. Eminem, right? In fact,
Jumping on Oprah's couch.
I forgot.
Jumping on Eminem.
That's it. Yeah, I love it.
You get a training. You get a training. You get a training.
There you go. Oprah. I love it too. That's a good combination.
It's a good compliment.
Fun.
And clearly not rehearsed because no one's ever asked us that before.
It's a great question, though.
We're so quick on a draw on that.
Yeah. So let's tell me, I know you guys work on yourself a lot as well. Like I know that's important to you. That's part of your authentic self and who you are and what brought you together. That's what you said right here at the beginning of the podcast. So tell me a little bit, what do you do? What do you do every day? How do you stay in the game, right?
Do you want to start?
I can start, yeah. Well, I think it starts with waking up and having a system, a morning routine. And I know we get up, we have our quiet time, we focus on kind of, centering ourselves. We're both women of faith. And so that's a big part of our day, starting it off with thanksgiving and praise and counting our blessings, right? And then, making a plan for the day and holding each other accountable to make sure it's done.
Yeah.
Right.
And I would say if my boys are watching, you make your bed first. Okay? I know there's a book about that.
Yes, yes.
They don't like to make their bed, and I keep saying to them, just make your bed, then you check off a task. For me, it is as far as reading. Like, I can't remember the last time I read like a beach read, which has its
Right.
pros and cons. But if I'm going to read a book, if I'm going to invest my time, it is going to be something that's going to help myself grow or our business grow. So I don't remember the last like fun book.
Yeah.
I
I
only
read.
allow myself to read those like on vacay.
Yeah.
Like
Even on
just-
vacation, I can't. I feel like I'm wasting time. Like I feel like I should be. So I read a lot. I read quickly, like I kind of skim over the stories. So I've mastered how to read a book very quickly. Podcasts, of course, because you could digest them. You can listen to them
Yeah.
in the car. We're big, like, and also I love reading biographies and autobiographies because they're all the same.
There's a story there. Yep.
Struggle, success. The other thing I would say is being present with my family, because that does remind me of the why, which is a hard thing to run businesses and have a family. But if that's why I'm doing this, and you mentioned it earlier, if that's why I'm doing what we're doing, building businesses, building ourselves for them, then I can't let them grow up without being with them. Or I can't let my marriage fall apart because I'm too busy working. Like, that's why I'm working, so that we could go on vacation, so we can go out to dinner, so we can spend time together. And that's something fairly new. I would say the last 6 to 8 months that I've really been focused on, why my boys are getting bigger very fast before my eyes, is
For mine too. But
really focusing on why are we doing this? We're doing this for, of course, the people that we're serving. But at the end of the day, when you ask the why, for me, and I know for you too, it's
Sure.
like our family. So I don't want to miss
It's
that.
hard for us. And Kelly, I know you're the same way because we know you so well. We're workaholics. And so to carve out that time when you have all these goals and you're the end of the day, you're planning your next day, to carve out that time can be a challenge because we love working.
Right. Working isn't hard for us, right? We enjoy it. So it's not work. But you have to sometimes
Have to.
take a break, take a step.
Be
Kids
present.
come home, close that laptop and really focus on them. Because I never want my kids to say, gosh, my mom worked so hard. We didn't get to do all the things. And especially now that they're teenagers, like literally, if they ask me to do anything, which they don't really, but when they do, they ask me to do
They'll
crazy
come back to
things
you.
like
They'll come
TikTok,
That's right.
TikTok videos and make a fool of myself. But when they ask me, the answer is always going to be yes, because I want to be there for them.
Yeah. You're a great mom.
Thank you.
yes. And you've proven that you can have it all. You can,
Yeah.
right? Your
Yeah.
business is successful, your families, I know both of you, and you have these wonderful families. You have shown the power of partnership. So for anyone out there trying to go it alone, maybe consider it. And whether it's a business partner or thinking partner,
Yes.
things like that. But consider bringing someone else.
Fun with someone else. I mean, we had so
Yeah.
much fun when
Yeah.
things don't go right or perfect, where I was like, making a memory.
We will just
Laugh it off and
Laugh it off.
know that we're making a memory.
Mark Twain said, do something you love and you'll never work another day in your life.
Yes.
And I can see you guys living that fully and living your brand. I see it in you every day, but it certainly shows right here today. So you are out there with lots of impactful messages. Thank you for coming today and sharing
Kelly,
your
thank you
story
for
and
having
lot-
us.
Great wisdom too. Absolutely. We appreciate you being here and again sharing all your great wisdom. And keep out there. Keep the ripple effect going. You guys are awesome. I can't wait to see you, next, what you've done by next year.